But that's different. But no,
He looks after all of them.
If he's
or 80 something, you know.
Ace.
Listen,
no.
I'll put the link below. I'll find it. Okay, you're happy. I mean, I'm ranging from old to young.
Yeah.
He got enough dick, man. He have enough peanuts, man. Anyway, here's my issue with it. A woman that's in tune with herself knows when a man has put his thing somewhere else.
Exactly.
And even if you do know,
Disgusting.
I feel like you have to switch something off in your brain, because I know what it is like to be violated. I just do, right? And you know when that man's sleeping with you, it's not you he's sleeping with, and it feels like you're being violated. I don't want an ex-woman's thing, and yeah, we don't need to be itching, scratching. That shit's for real. Nah, it's not funny. It's not funny. We don't need another woman's enzymes and STDs and all that. I don't need that energy. I don't need to feel like you hired me for half an hour to carry out your sexual fantasies on like I'm not there. And then you're bringing the next woman's energy to me and telling me I should like it. That's how it feels for a woman who's in tune with herself. How would you like if you know a woman's coming home and she's riding you and you know it's not you she's riding? I feel like if guys kind of flipped it round, also, that's the next thing. A lot of these guys have got daughters.
Yeah, I just don't get that. And then they're the same ones to say, oh, no, nobody can hurt my daughter. You know what? Like, I'm going to go and beat up man them who's touched my youth. But you're doing the same thing to women all across your town, whatever, abusing every woman you can see.
You're doing the same thing to her mother. I've asked that question. Do you want your daughters to date a man like you? You know how much men get uncomfortable?
We should really ask that question all the time, though, to these men, because then they can reevaluate how they're treating women on a daily basis. And you know what? They'll put an end to all of this.
Imagine a man is doing that with your daughter. All the things you do to women, because it's not all sexual. I know that too. Emotional abuse. They're both bad. The thing about emotional abuse, it's a bit like, I don't know what it's like to be in prison, but I know people that have been and are. And it's like having flashbacks, PTSD, trauma. Every time you have a smell, there's a smell of a song, or somebody comes up behind you. It's not funny. It's not funny. And the thing is, you know what? You can go through so much disrespect, not understanding your conditioning, that it leads you the whole other way, like you said about Marley. Because I go, okay, no, that's not good. I don't feel happy about her saying that, and I always say to her, and I say to you, not all men are bad.
Nah, I don't think it's all men. I feel like down to upbringing as well, because a lot of the mothers and fathers, like, if it's not a case of the father's left whilst the child is growing up, it's the mothers, like, I feel like overdoting on the child and just being like, oh, he's amazing, he's so gorgeous, just gassing the child up consistently, and then not telling them, like, okay, you need to respect a girl. When you start dating girls, this is what you need to do, be respectful, don't hurt them, blah 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 blah. The men get really like mollycoddled and like, what do you call it? Just really cocky about themselves, and they just think like every woman likes me, everyone fancies me, and they just start treating every girl with like disrespect, because all they've been told is, oh, you're amazing, you look great.
It's true, you know. To be fair, some of these men are being raised by mothers that are creating monsters. I've got to be honest. I'm always going to try to be very balanced and not just rag men about. A lot of these men some of these men that are doing this to women are being raised by mothers. And let me tell you something. One of the worst side chicks of them all is the mother. Yeah.
That's so treacherous.
Listen, from my experience, sometimes it's the mother telling the man to deal with the woman a certain way, from my experience.
But why do they do that though? That's what really like...
Because they haven't dealt with their own issues and their own trauma, and the fact that there's no boundaries, there's no space for that boy to become a man. Mm-hmm. The woman has to, whether it's to do with not letting go of being so heavily involved in your son's life, or it's deeper and you've got a narcissistic mother. Mm. Either way, there's no boundary set. And so, trust me.
Number one in his life.
What was that program, that film I told you to watch about the Jewish girl? Unorthodox. Please watch that. It reminds me of my upbringing. But they took this thing to another level. So obviously the girl's a virgin, but she has problems down there because some women have very small areas. But it's actually it can be a serious problem. So, you know, her husband, who's also young, trying to sleep with her, says, I think it was in the middle of sex, my mom says, if you don't sleep with me soon, boom, boom. Anyway, it's just so horrifying. Mothers, you need to check yourself. It's about 2 years ago or so. There was a video floating around with a girl in Carnival in London, and she was intoxicated of, I don't know, whatever, but her boobs were hanging out and everything, and I'm telling you, men were just violating her on camera. Whoever was filming, you were violating, be it man or woman, and all of them were taking turns to grope her. I could not believe it. Disgusting. And I'm like, that's another thing. It seems to be this thing where, as a black woman, you're not protected. Not one man said, yo, you know what are you doing? And the thing is, you might say, well, she was consenting to it, but she clearly wasn't in her right mind. And I think a lot of us are doing things as young girls and even grown women, and we don't really know that we have issues and we need to seek help. And then these men defy you, they violate you, and then they act like they have the rights to call you out. But what are you if you're violating someone that you know is not in her right mind?
Rapist.
You've got a rapist mentality. I think if men start to check what they're doing, you'd realise you're not too right in your head.
And I don't like how they're always like allowed and, you know, like encouraged to sleep around with loads and loads of girls, and it's just like, he's the man, he's sick, you know, like, or he gets bare things, and then the girl does it, or she just, I don't know, likes the attention maybe of a male species.
Yeah, it does get like that. It does get like that. Yeah.
She's seen as a hoe, and it's like it's double standards that. How's that allowed?
Definitely, I know that, and in my generation, if I was that girl now, nobody would be cussing me out.
Yeah, no, it's being
Nobody would cuss me out, and the thing is as well, when normalized. You are, although I have had all these issues at the same time, some guys think if you're very aware of your sexuality, that means they can just have you. I know there's guys out there that just had it in their brain I was sleeping with anybody. And when you say no to them, I know there's guys out there that told their women who they're with now with kids that me and them had a teen.
No, we didn't.
Never happened. I denied you, man. Ask him again. But here's the thing, if we have all this freedom with our sexuality, what does that even mean? Are you respecting yourself because you're like, I can have him, and him, or her? What's that got to do with respecting yourself?
This is what I'm saying, you know, like how everyone say, she belongs to the streets and all that, and how they have like guys will run trains on like one girl, and then they'll talk about she's a hoe.
Well, what are you?
What? You're part
sick.
of it. You're part of
You
it.
took. If you said she was a hoe and she's nasty, you put your penis in a bin, and
Exactly.
you were happy when you was doing it.
Do this.
You hear what you need to do. Get a plastic bag, squeeze some gel or some water in there, tie it to your knob, and swirl it around. Because that's basically all we are to you, not true?
Oh, it's disgraceful.
You want to blow up dolls. That's the next thing that was going around. I was like, it's a plastic bag.
A pocket pussy.
Whatever it's called, the whole blow up thing, robot thing. You want something that has no real feelings. So how is that different from drilling a hole in the wall and that's all you want, innit?
And then they can't have like normal conversations.
That's what I'm
with
trying to
girls
say,
because
and that's what porn
they've
does.
just done nothing. Yeah, exactly. But masturbate.
And here's the thing, going back to the point about Marley and yourself, and I've been there at a big age.
I could never
No, where it then makes you say, well, I got to a point I said, well,
get these.
I've gone through so much things with men that perhaps I'm not supposed to be with one.
Facts.
Let's just be honest. You know, some people say that's bad, it's wrong, it's, you know, against God and boom, and I get it. But when you've gone through so much abuse or violation, it gets to that point. Before it was just about being heterosexual, gay. Now there's so many different things. I'm like, and I honestly feel that there's a breakdown in the communication between men and women, between you know, what we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to do, and there's some people who say no, there's God's choice and then there's man's choice, and we've all got so much choice. I feel like we're abandoned orphan children running around doing our own thing in the world, and no one knows what they're doing anymore. No one's even addressing why do I do that. And then women are calling themselves feminists, and I get what you're doing, but feminism actually originates from the white woman not being allowed to work by a white husband. In case you didn't know,
Well,
that's where it actually came from. In our culture, before slavery and all of that stuff, men respected, they honoured their women. And then we talk about the cross and the part that's missing, which was the womb. Like, it can get very, very deep. But I just feel like this dysfunction stems from the fact that there is this thing about who's on top.
Yeah, we should be united. It shouldn't have to be a competition, and the men always feeling like, oh, we feel emasculated because the woman wants to have a little bit of strength. Like, it should.
We've got a lot of strength. We are strong
field.
in a different way, and I think it should be. What's the word? Celebrated.
Where he can't do something, the woman should step in. Where she can't do something, he should be like contributing and just working together. I just don't get why there's always got to be like.
And how do we know, you saying that a lot of the choices people are making is because they've been told, you're too weak as a man, you're too weak. So it's gone, oh, I'm weak, therefore
it's all
I'm good for nothing, or I'm too feminine, or I must be gay, or I'm a strong woman, so because I'm strong, I must be manly or masculine. Like, you know, what are we making these judgments and comparisons with?
Because, you know, growing up, I always used to like, obviously doing athletics, I was always seen as like the masculine one. I just look hench and I was skinny, I was just cut up and everything. And like, all the boys would be like, nah, I don't want a masculine girl, nah, she must be a lesbian. It was always that, and I'd always think like, I don't like girls though, I don't like girls, come on man. Like, I like boys, but maybe I am gay.
Yeah,
like,
you start to question yourself.
Am I?
Yeah.
Because you don't, obviously they don't, okay, you're told this is how a woman should be, this is how she should look, this is how she should feel and act, blah, blah, blah. But then when you don't fit every single criteria of what a woman or what a man should be, you think, okay, well then I'm not.
I thought people should mind their business. I'm weak and you're strong, you're just too strong. So what, you was trying to break me then?
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like embarrassing for a woman to have some strength. Why do you want a weak woman? If you
really
want a weak woman, you got to check yourself and ask you why you need that woman to be weak. But I learned that I had, certain conditionings. And okay, when we talk about people, you might ask, why do we stay in these types of relationships? Why do we continue to perpetuate the same behaviour? I feel like society puts the same images out there, music, fashion, television programs, the government, films, the workforce. But there is something called cognitive dissonance. In the field of psychology, cognitive dissonance really means holding two separate thoughts about one thing. Look it up. So we know that if something doesn't feel right, but we keep doing it. We know that in relationships which are abusive, we know something in us is telling us, although we're used to it, it's normalised, we're conditioned to it. We know that you got punched in the face, or you constantly abuse is hurled at you. You know it's not, there's nothing nice about that, but you keep going back to it. And this is what we need to address within ourselves, the cognitive dissonance. We need to really check where all of this is coming from, where it started.
Yeah, because you know what I said yesterday about, how people just stay in like toxic relationships and they talk about, but when it's good, it's really good, and then when it's bad, it's just really
There's a name for that. When you give somebody, reward them. So it's like intermittent rewarding. So you get punched in the face, it goes out, and it's not about just getting punched, it's just constant abuse, insidious picking at you. You kind of start to like be unsure of yourself, and you get dowdy and you get within yourself. But then he'll come and say, I'm taking you on holiday. Yeah.
So it makes you forget what he just did.
Yeah.
Or you just think like, oh, it's normal.
So you get reward.
This is just how he is.
Yeah, you get this intermittent reward. Is that, and you go, oh, he was just having a bad moment. Yeah. Everyone has issues. And so it's normalised.
Like it's a lot of adrenaline, isn't it?
Addiction.
Yeah.
You're addicted. A lot of these toxic relationships are addictive. No lie. And you have to wean yourself off them.
And because the person's always like gonna be there, because one, you are their punching bag, but two, it's just like, it's just a thrill, like, they enjoy it.
It's a high. You're both in this.
You never know what you're gonna get as well, so it's just like, okay, and then you're just walking on eggshells because you don't know, oh, if I do this, he might punch me, or he might, hurt me or something, I don't know.
Or he might disappear for the day. It's called the push-pull syndrome.
Yeah.
And you do this.
Some people
it's called
like it.
The narcissistic and the narcissism and the codependent dance. Push. You push, I pull. I push, you pull. And you don't realise you are in a circus.
It's a cycle.
You're in a cycle and a circus. You know what? It's sad. But I think most of us are doing that.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. I always try and like stop it before that even starts. When you can have like conversations with people and you just see like, oh, they have like this consistent habit, and like they always behave a certain way. But if you don't like tune into it, you can make it go like too far, and then you get hurt, and then you're like, oh wow. When you actually reevaluate the situation, you realise that this person has been doing this from the beginning, but you've just been like ignoring the red flags and just letting it continue, and then you're hurt, and then you're just like, oh man.
You know what the saddest part in all of this is? And I think it's something we really, above all, or when we've addressed all these things, is how to healthily allow yourself to be open to a new relationship.
Yeah.
Because it puts so many blocks in the way. You've got this guard. You're trying to be aware.
Yeah, I hate it. And you go to the
you're
next
highly
person
aware.
and then they're like, I'm not like that person. And you're like, okay, but I've heard this before. And then they're actually a good person and you just hurt them because you keep being like, oh, I'm unsure, I'm uncertain about whether you're, you know, the right guy, or are you trying to play me? Like, I don't get what's going on.
We have to really address ourselves first of all. Address yourself, because the truth is, once you really, and I don't think you can just, I've addressed myself today, so now I'm better. It's a continuous thing, but once you do that, you'll stop attracting these type of men. You won't even like them.
Exactly.
You won't like them, and they won't like you, because they cannot tolerate somebody who is healthy.
But that's the thing though, it seems like, you know, when you made the comment of like, oh, I wouldn't have slept with certain people if I waited until marriage. Like, with our generation, I feel like you can wait all day, like trying to find the right person. You're always trying to just be like positive and in tune with your soul and your body and your mental health and all of that. And then you're looking for someone who's on the same level as you, and it just seems like none of these people, like nobody is on the same track, like the same level.
But are we then looking for perfection?
Yeah, it's a hard one.
And you're not even perfect yourself.
It's a hard one.
I think we should end this talk here. It's a lot of food for thought, and we'll leave some links below to help you understand possibly what you may be going through yourself. And with that in mind, we shall bid you an adieu. Take care.
Thanks for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and follow us on social media. Links all down below.
Peace.
Peace.